D23 is upon us, so we're going to make our best predictions for what we might see this weekend. So let's start off with Star Wars. We heard we're getting a sneak preview of the upcoming live-action series, Mandalorian. So what do you guys think the series will be? What do you want to see from the preview?
A lot.
I know.
I definitely checked out the leaked footage that happened at Star Wars Celebration that kind of found its way online, right? And the team behind that show already has me super excited.
It's so good.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal. Then you have, of course, Jon Favreau, which at this point I trust with anything nerdy, pretty much. Tag team with Filoni, who knows the Star Wars universe better than anybody else, especially in a serialized TV form. And that list of directors is insane. You put that team behind it, I would trust you with anything. Yeah. I'm sold.
I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, and I obviously have no idea what to expect from story, but really I don't care because I love that time period that is of the Star Wars galaxy. It's one of the most unexplored, most unexplored area of time. So I'm just curious to see what happens then, and also I love that old aesthetic. I love the old stormtroopers. I love, that's my Star Wars jam right there.
Yeah, it looks cool, and it feels like it's a world that fans have been really invested in without a ton to go on in a way. I don't know. I'm excited to see them expand the world and just see Mandalore. I think it's gonna be cool.
No, absolutely, and there's so much history to the Mandalorian people and the culture, right? And you see it explored through Clone Wars. You see that explored. In particular, a little bit in Rebels with Sabine Wren in there, but I think this is a place to give us a little bit of that history in live-action form, right? You can see it there, not just in animation. I think that's the spot where I'd love to see it kind of take off. And the other thing I keep wrapping my mind around is you know how in old school wars it took a while for the people fighting the battle across the country to find out that the war ended? It's got to happen throughout the galaxy, right? It takes time for the message to go across. There's probably these little pockets of battles happening still, Empire versus Rebels, that we just never saw. Maybe I could see us popping up here and there between the two.
Can we also take a moment to appreciate that where we are now at the Mandalorian, this all started 30, 40 years ago with an action figure.
It's crazy.
That's
essentially,
insane.
Boba Fett was this throwaway character that everybody thought was so cool. And now, all these years later, we finally have this amazing, rich story we're about to see. Because he had really cool guy.
All for a mask and a rocket pack.
Legit.
That was it. He made an appearance in some sort of parade that tag team with the action figure would launch, and that was it.
Yeah.
It's history.
And he was in the weird Christmas special all those years ago. There was the animated part of it.
Yeah. Okay, if you guys had to pick, if you had to pick one character to cameo in The Mandalorian, who would it be?
Knowing what we know now,
the
Emperor.
Oh,
I want one glimpse, not a lot. Don't give me anything to chew on. Nothing to reveal how we get the Emperor back in Episode 9, but just one little bitty glimpse, because obviously he survived now, right?
Yes. So let's see.
One little mention, if it's someone just dropping that name, that they ran into him or something like that, they're feeling him in the Force spot.
I think I just saw the Emperor. That's it.
I recognize that cackle.
Senator? He was a senator, right?
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't him.
Yeah.
And then they just keep doing what they're doing.
I want to see something crazy like Ahsoka. We were talking in our Clone Wars video, when we're going to see the live action Ahsoka. I mean, I don't know if the timing works out with how Rebels ended up. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But let's see some of the expanded universe in this series in live action for the first time.
I think there's a cool way to do it where it's we hear something mentioned. I was joking about the Emperor, but we don't actually necessarily see the character, but you hear something that's oh, it's got to be that person.
Yes.
I don't know how to describe what I'm talking about.
No, they're in the cantina, and then they hear the cackling from the back. It's
It's I feel like this series is going to have a lot of flashbacks or history references within this, just because of how much we know about Mandalore from the animated series, and then also how much the 3 movies are probably going to directly lead into this.
Yeah.
So I bet you that's a place where you can maybe have a live action Ahsoka and bring in those other people without having to write the whole story to include them, right?
Yeah.
And now the story is The Mandalorian, but do we have any confirmation that we're actually going to go to Mandalore?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I thought in the leaked footage, it looked like there were multiple Mandalorians, which felt, I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. But you mentioned the movies. So another thing that we might potentially get at D23 is a trailer for Rise of the Skywalker. A big, fat, proper trailer. So do you think, first, do you think we're going to get it?
You have to.
I think we have to, yeah.
It's 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months out at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
we're due.
prime time trailer, like marketing release timeline right there.
Yeah. I'd like to see a little bit of a meteor trailer that actually tells us a little bit more about the story. And also, I want to see a little more Star in my wars. Because, like, you know, like the first trailer was a little lacking of like space fighting.
Got
like,
it,
you
okay.
know, and I think the new trilogy in general, it's like so much action happens on the ground. Like, when are we gonna get back into space? Like, you know,
Get us in
things.
space.
Get us in Star Wars.
Yeah. All right.
You forgot half the name.
Yeah.
No,
it's
true.
not just wars. The Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that we're getting it, right? And that Ewan McGregor has signed on for it. Do you think we're going to get more information about it? A trailer footage, like anything?
We're probably going to get that big moment when he comes out on stage.
Yeah.
You know,
And he's
goes
like,
out and like, hey, hello there.
Hello.
Whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Maybe you get like a showrunner announcement or something like that, or a producer
cool.
attachment to it, so you have a little bit of like the creative lead for that project.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like that's a few years out, so maybe that's probably the only juicy nuggets we get.
Yeah.
But at least confirmation that we can legitimately talk about this and not just have it be rumors.
Yeah.
At least that'll be nice.
Yeah.
I'll be into
And
that.
I'm all for Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan.
Hell yeah.
How is this not done on day one? Like,
Yes.
you know, this is what everyone's been
Yeah.
asking for since the prequels ended. You know, because honestly, he's like probably the best, if not the best thing to come out of the prequels, in my opinion.
That and the N64 pod racer game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Those are
that's
the two
fair.
things. That's it. That is
Yeah.
it. But the one thing you give props to Disney for listening to people, like, right? You wanted for the longest time something about Boba Fett and the Mandalorians and standalone. You're getting it.
Yeah.
You want
After
Ewan
a long
McGregor,
time.
like Obi-Wan. We're getting it. We're
Yeah.
in Clone Wars coming back. We're getting it.
What else should we
Just
ask
like,
Disney
thank
for?
you.
Disney,
Ooh.
you know what the fans want? Individual checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mail to, I don't know.
Free Disney Plus?
Yeah.
It's pretty much free
Disney,
already.
You would like
That's
free
true.
Disney.
Yeah.
Is it? No way.
No. It's $12.99. A lot of stuff.
A month?
Yeah, but it's bundled with Hulu and ESPN Plus.
Oh God, but then
Yeah,
am
they
I gonna
just
have
turned
to...
into a promo for
Yeah,
Disney
you know,
Plus.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, we were all gonna get it anyway. It's like
Oh, 100%.
even more of a promo. Okay, so that kind of covers a lot of the big Star Wars potential news. Marvel.
Can I say one more
do
thing
it.
about The Mandalorian? Sorry, I forgot.
Do it.
The one thing I'm looking forward to, and I think that they're getting with this show, is doing one thing I liked about Rogue One. It brought a war movie to the Star Wars
Everything?
universe, right? Well,
Yeah.
that too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But it brought a war movie to the Star Wars universe. I see the start of a Western in the Star Wars
Yeah.
universe with all
Cool.
this, right? Like
Yeah.
just how
Yeah.
it's shot, that gritty look that Matt was talking about. Like I would love to see them stay into that world, like the Lone Ranger sort of feel to it and that
Yeah.
grittiness. Like stay in that. I like
Yeah.
that pocket.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's really, I had not thought of that, and you're absolutely right. It looks like we haven't really seen that too much. I mean, Star Wars is already such a genre, but yeah, seeing like another genre explored within the genre of Star Wars.
Yeah,
exactly.
just within that world.
I like
That's
that.
what I want.
Okay, so on to Marvel. They're gonna have limited time because
It's crazy we're going from Star Wars to Marvel.
I know. We're
Sorry to
bouncing around.
interrupt you.
Star Wars to Marvel, and we're staying in the House of the Mouse. It's all Disney.
It's true. Big house.
But yeah, there's like Pixar, Disney, there's all kinds of stuff that is going to be shared. So it's probably not going to be as much of like a repeated mic
Yeah.
drop moment as San Diego Comic-Con, but we'll probably hear something. So what do you guys think we're going to hear from Marvel?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot that we didn't hear from Comic-Con. Like, we still need to know the future of Black Panther 2,
Yes.
Captain Marvel 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like, I don't know if
Yes.
they're anywhere near making those announcements, but I feel like that was something that was obviously left off the table for San Diego. So imagine we'd see something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that Kevin Feige has all of this in just like a very neat trapper keeper, and he just decides when
Yeah.
he's going to tell
Yeah.
us all,
Yeah.
right?
The big mic drop would be like if they do like, here's all the mutant movies, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and like, you know,
damn.
like they're
I think
just
that-
like, here we go.
That would be
I feel like you
cool.
wouldn't have dropped Fantastic Four in the word mutants at the end of San Diego if there wasn't going to be something else at D23 to
Yeah.
give us a
Yeah.
little more color, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's pointless to say that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when you had Blade at the end of that. That was a big
Yes.
like mic drop moment. So I have a feeling that they may not announce like how they're going to be integrated, but you may have some sort of at least Fantastic Four
More
like,
info
talk,
there.
more info,
Yeah.
a producer-director attachment, something.
Yeah.
X-Men I think is a little bit further off.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because
I
it's
agree.
Dark
Soon.
Phoenix.
I think
this
I would be
happened, but-
psyched to hear, because I think it's going to tell us so much about the direction, of a who's going to direct Blade, because that's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be that's going to lock us
Yeah.
into like style, tone, what exactly is this movie going to be?
100%.
Yeah,
I
totally.
think that'd be cool.
That'll show a hell of a lot about what the movie's going to be.
Yeah. That could be fun.
But maybe we'll also get like a sneak peek at one of the Disney Plus shows, because maybe just like a clip from like Falcon and Winter Soldier or something, because we're probably getting closer to seeing something from that.
Yeah, they've got to have something.
It's
still
Disney.
Still.
Right? And it's smart from the marketing side, right? Like you have your launch shows, you know what those are going to be. Yep. So before it launches, though, you got to give me a taste of what the second course is going to be like before I get tired of the first course, so I know to stay a subscriber when that comes around. Yeah. So it is smart to give them a little morsel of like the second wave of shows at this point.
Are you inspired by your apron?
What? Oh my God!
All the chef talk, it was bleeding in. Yeah.
I wish I was that smart, but I just kind of like naturally went there.
It was pretty
I think
good.
I was hungry.
It was in the air. What if they, maybe they'll just like show an episode. They'll just be like, I don't know.
Hey.
Here you go.
Stranger things happen. They might be even closer to doing that. Well, going back to Star Wars, maybe Clone Wars will get a debut.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But they've already, we're going Clone Wars, but whatever. They've already released like animation, like stills and excels of a few different episodes that are rumored to be in the new Clone Wars, right? So I could see them easily brushing those off, like they got it already. Like, polish it off and show it to people.
The one exciting thing to know is that like we're absolutely going to get something of substance out of this weekend.
Yeah, right?
Because like how do we not? It's like they pool all their biggest stuff for their cons now.
Yeah.
So like something's coming out of this.
Yeah. Well, why do it?
And the one thing I hope, like my wish from the Marvel side of the panel is something that was rumored for San Diego, which is like a big like swan song hurrah for the original Avengers, right? Because like the Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson and Robert Downey Jr. may never be back. They won't be back on a regular basis. So giving them one last moment of like that holy shit fandom like exploding when they come on stage together.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
And maybe release dates. There are a bunch of untitled 2022, which is truly insane to think that we're talking about. I sound so old, but 2022.
It's almost crazy to even talk about. It's just like,
I know.
It's so far away.
I wonder to what extent when people working on those movies hear us talking about it, they're like, guys, we got nothing yet.
If anything, they're watching and taking notes. And they're like, oh, here we go. That's how we end it.
Oh, that's how you integrate the X-Men? That's a good idea. Thank you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of talked about Blade. Do you think like 50-50? We'll hear more.
I like your call on the director.
Yeah, I think
that's
an easy one.
It's an easy one, and also, to your point, it shows a hell of a lot about what the movie could be.
Yeah.
Without having to explicitly say, hey, it's going to be a horror movie or a vampire movie. Whatever.
Yeah, totally.
I like that.
Yeah. Who do you guys think, and I don't know if we're going to get any news on it, but who is going to be the big bad? We had Thanos for Phase 3. Who's Phase 4?
I'm kind of hoping for Galactus.
So go even bigger.
Going bigger.
Just
big. Yeah.
Literally
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's exciting to have like those characters back in the fold, and I think they should. I would love them to lean into all the new toys in the toy box for Phase 2.
Sure.
Like just let's just start exploring all that.
And off it, it's like Galactus is a big Fantastic Four villain. I think the way I'm leaning too is because that's the easiest new group to bring in is Doctor Doom. One that's a little bit more grounded, and I think it could be fun because he has both the science element to challenge like whatever it be Reed Richards if he comes back into this, or Spider-Man or Black Panther, and then he also has the magic element to challenge Doctor Strange as a part of his character. So I like that.
Yeah, Doctor Doom could kind of be like the Loki of this next phase. Like how he kind of starts as a great villain in Fantastic Four and then becomes the overarching threat for everyone.
I can see that. It's a good call.
I'm into it. I'm going to go with the Lizard. I think he deserves another crack after the Amazing Spider-Man. Underrated, deserves another. Everyone, we're all about second chances here, you know?
No one would see that coming.
No.
No, for good reason. If you are taking notes, that's not one you should take.
The Lizard teaming up with Abomination.
Yes.
Together. The combo. Phase 4.
Well, wait, that's the What If series. That's also coming.
Yeah. So there's obviously a bunch of rumors flying around. I feel like we touched on a bunch of them. We might get, some logo art for Fantastic Four and X-Men. The Rock is going to join the MCU. Like all this stuff that's kind of in the air. Keanu Reeves. Do you think any of it is going to end up being true?
I forgot about Keanu Reeves going to be Adam
Rock
Warlock.
is joining the MCU?
It's a rumor. It's like,
I thought he was Black Adam in DCU.
I mean, we never stopped anybody before. Why not?
Ryan Reynolds has been like 7 different things in the MCU.
That's true.
Suspend your disbelief.
All right, okay. The Rock's in the MCU now.
Yeah. Why not?
So we'll buy that. That's the one we're like, sure.
I mean, I would take Keanu Reeves in anything. Like,
Yes.
let's be real. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna say no to him ever at all.
Yeah.
It would be cool as hell to see him be Adam Warlock. I don't know how they would work Adam Warlock into it. Like, I know they have it from Guardians, but I don't know how you'd bring him back from like that whole group of people that got destroyed from Guardians into it. But
What about Reed Richards? Keanu Reeves as Reed Richards.
ooh,
Like, Fantastic Four. Yeah, put a little, the gray in his hair.
it would be weird seeing him stretchy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good.
Yeah, it's just a weird power in general.
It is a weird power in general.
Yeah.
Like, even
And
him
he's
with
not
his
gonna make it
shaggy
less
hair.
weird.
Yeah.
No.
I know Kung Fu.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? All these rumors can be true, none of them can be true. They're rumors. That's why. We don't know. I mean, we didn't even get to touch on Pixar, anything from Disney Studios, but check back here next week to see what we think of all the D23 announcements and give us your best predictions in the comments below.